everybody, it's SaskiaSketches. I don't know how long this video is going to be because I'm really tired and I don't know how much energy I'll have to record, but I do want to record because I think it's important and I want to, make more videos and share fun stuff that I've been working on. So yeah, let's get into it. Last Friday I worked on a big project that I have mentioned, but I haven't talked about in specifics. I'm working on a really big wolf plush, and it's going to be really cool. I have this hugely complicated but very, very cool and pretty pattern from Yellow Freak on Instagram. Highly recommend you go check their work out because they don't just make like super pretty realistic plushes, but they also make some really cool artwork, some fake anime cells and stuff. It's super awesome. It looks really cool, and I highly recommend their stuff. And at the same time, I also want to say that they are incredibly kind and helpful and everything. So just a really cool person. Go check out their work, follow them, etc. And yeah, this is just I've been wanting to make a cool plush like this for a while, but I never really got around to it. So I I think a couple weeks ago I was like, you know what, I just really want to do this. So I bought the pattern, and I've been trying to make a test version of this pattern with some cheaper fabrics, and I am almost finished with that, but I worked a lot on it this week, and I just want to talk about that because it's been really cool, really fun. I haven't filmed much, but I have taken a lot of pictures, so it's just going to be a slideshow for now. When I get around to the wolf plush that this one is a test for, I'm going to make one with faux fur. So whenever I work on that one, I will try to film a little bit more. But I was just really scared of showing the pattern accidentally because I did have to pay for the pattern. And if you want to make it, you should pay for it because it's good and you get the tutorials and everything. So yeah, anyway. I worked a little bit on that this Friday. And there was another thing that happened on Friday is I had an appointment with the people who are going to be giving me therapy. This is one of those appointments where it's part of the intake process, and this was supposed to be the last appointment where they would go over diagnoses and possible treatment plans. And I think I mentioned it in the previous on the second to last video, is that I suspected that I might have OCD because of some questions that they asked me during the intake interview, and so I was going into this this conversation, I guess, this appointment with the the expectation that I might come out with one additional diagnosis. I severely underestimated how much is wrong with me. Because I walked out with 3 new diagnoses, and that was a big shock for me, because I wasn't really expecting that. I was thinking maybe OCD, which I do have, is now confirmed and diagnosed officially, but also illness anxiety disorder, which is the health anxiety that I was suspecting I had, and they also confirmed that one. So I was thinking it was one or the other, but it's both of them. They are very similar though, so it's not exactly the same. And the other diagnosis that I got was an eating disorder, and I haven't spoken about this on the channel, but I have showed it because I showed a reflection exercise a while ago that was addressing some of my some of the thoughts that I had concerning eating and calorie intake and nutrition and stuff like that weren't exactly healthy. And turns out it's an eating disorder, which I just 2 weeks ago I said with my full chest to one of my friends, I don't think I have an eating disorder. And turns out I do. Yeah, which is it's. I think this one is the one that surprised me the most, because I know and knew that my relationship with food and eating isn't healthy. Like, it isn't good. I wasn't supposed to get into this right now, but I guess I'm talking about it now, so I guess the additional thoughts section is not going to talk about this. Whatever. I had this all planned out, and I'm just going off script. Whatever. Yeah. So I wasn't expecting it. Because even though I knew that my relationship with food and eating isn't exactly healthy, I wasn't thinking it had the, it was going to have an, the label of eating disorder, because a big diagnostic criteria for eating disorders is that it has to affect your weight, because it has to affect your life in some way, right? And it hasn't affected my weight yet, I don't think. But it does affect like my mental health quite a bit. So because there is, some serious strain, and it has the potential of tipping into unhealthy eating habits territory, which it already has as well. But I am trying very hard to eat properly. But there's just a lot of thoughts that get in the way of that. It's like, because somehow there's a conviction in my mind that I'm better off eating absolutely nothing, or like as few calories as possible, and that's not healthy, but it's very persistent. But so I guess I've been diagnosed now, so that also means I'm going to get help, which is good. So that will hopefully make eating a little bit easier, because I also have the the health anxiety and the OCD that makes eating hard as well, because I'll be wanting to eat something, but my brain is just convinced that it's going to make me sick, so I shouldn't eat it, like I should throw it away, or only eat very safe things, things that I know don't make me sick. So there's a lot of that as well. But yeah, that was it was an eye opener, and it was a confrontational, but it was good, and I definitely felt well, how do you say, like, validated, I guess, like understood, heard, taken seriously. So that's good, and I'm glad that I that I have the opportunity to get accurately diagnosed and get the therapy and help that I need. Yeah, so on Friday, the specific eating disorder that I had hadn't been diagnosed yet. They just said, yeah, there's an eating disorder, we're not sure which one it is yet. So they kind of just left it at that. And they also said that I have to come back again the next week, because there wasn't enough time to talk about all the diagnoses and the treatment plan and everything. So yeah, there was another appointment scheduled, and I went back home. I kind of briefly told my mum what they'd been, what they diagnosed me with in the car ride home. But then for the rest of the day, I just kind of like dove into this wolf plush. And a friend of mine has been really obsessed with Life is Strange, which is a video game series. And you know, I thought, okay, you know what, this is the perfect time. I'm just gonna put on a let's play of this bit of the like Life is Strange, and just binge that, and just lose myself in a complete hyper focus on this wolf. So that's what I did. I put on Jacksepticeye playing Life is Strange, and I just did a lot of sewing that day until I went to bed. And then Saturday, I had a bit of trouble getting out of bed, which is kind of normal whenever I'm like under a lot of strain, either physically or emotionally or both. Getting out of bed is like gets infinitely harder. So I had trouble with that. I did record a YouTube video, and I edited and uploaded it. This was the Minecraft video from last week, I think, which was really fun and also really disappointing, but you know, go watch it. It was at least it was fun to record. Just ran around the nether aimlessly for like 40 minutes without finding anything. But yeah, it was glorious. Go watch that. Yeah, I also went for a walk, and I cooked with my mother, and I subtitled a little bit of Metabots, and I wrote a reply for the Metabots roleplay, which is kind of, if you might have noticed, is kind of fallen off a little bit because we were both like really going at it, just like spending so much time writing with each other. But unfortunately, my friend got busy and writer's block, so I haven't been RPing as much. But that day I got a reply, so that day that was a good day because I was able to write some Metabots, and it's my special interest and my hyper focus. So you know, always makes me happy. But yeah, that was all things considering. It was a very busy and productive day, even though you know it started off a little bit rough. Yeah, then on Sunday I was noticing as I was working on this wolf plush is that my little sewing machine that I have was not exactly equipped to handle more than 2 layers of fabric, so I was like, I unfortunately am going to need a new sewing machine if I want to do this, especially if I want to make another one with faux fur later, because you know, this little sewing machine can hardly handle 2 layers of fabric. Like it breaks down and cries whenever I put 3 layers of fabric between the things. So I'm gonna need another sewing machine, which unfortunately was going to be an expensive purchase, because sewing machines, especially ones that you know work properly and stuff, are like 200, 300-ish euro, and I do not have that just lying around somewhere. Unfortunately, but I was able to find one, like an old one, secondhand for 40 euro. So I got a new sewing machine, and it worked. It works like marvelously, like really, really well. Super smooth. It's so sturdy, and just I am super happy with it. And I spent most of that day just trying to figure out how to operate it, how to make it work and stuff. And I also made a lot of progress on the wolf plush, and as I'm doing this, I'm also binging Life is Strange playthroughs with Jacksepticeye. It was really cool because he started like 8 years ago or something, and you know, I'm just, as I'm working on it, I'm just going through all those videos, and just, you know, slowly getting to current day Jacksepticeye playing. So it was really fun. Also, Life is Strange, like, highly recommend. Super good game. Story-wise, it's a linear game. But it's so good. It's so good. It's incredibly tragic, but it's really good. So I don't know how much I can say without spoiling it, but it's so good. It's so good. If anything, go watch the Jacksepticeye playthrough, especially the first one, because that one was the best, I think. Just a little side note. Then on Monday, I again, you know, all day just insanely hyper focus, laser focus on this wolf plush, just working on it, working, and just having a lot of fun with it, like with the new sewing machine, making sure, like, you know, figuring out how that works and everything. It was really fun and really good, and just, you know, Life is Strange on in the background. It was nice. It was really nice to just focus on one thing and make something and actually do something with my hands. And just create something out of almost nothing, which is just awesome. Then on Tuesday I had a mindfulness appointment, and then I worked some more on the wolf, watched some more Jacksepticeye, and I did go for a walk that day. I think Wednesday is more of the same. Yeah, my grandma came to visit. I worked more on the wolf. I did go grocery shopping with my mum, and just watch more Life is Strange Jacksepticeye. And then on Thursday, and this was the rest of my intake appointment, and they diagnosed me with some more. So they clarified that the eating disorder is, I think it's called OFED, just, you know, otherwise specified eating or like feeding or eating disorder, which is just, you know, you have a list of eating disorders, and then there is this one at the end. It's like, you know, it's none of the above, but it's definitely an eating disorder, so that one. And they also said I have anorexic tendencies, so, you know, later down the line, once they get a little bit more information on me, or like more experience or insight in my thoughts, they, you know, that one might be what I have. But a big thing for anorexia is that you know, it needs to affect your weight, and like I said, it doesn't affect mine so far, hasn't yet, because I'm just really vigilant about not listening to those thoughts, or like not going along with those thoughts. Like, you know, I'll have the oh, I have to have less than X amount of calories today for like whatever reason, because I'm already, you know, because in my mind I'm already too fat and need to lose weight, even though I'm at like a healthy weight. So I have the thoughts, I just try very hard not to listen to them, but it's a very it's a back and forth and quite a struggle, especially when I'm tired, and you know, that just makes everything harder. But they so that's what they diagnosed me with, and then they also diagnosed me with PTSD finally, officially. So I was under the impression that I'd been diagnosed with PTSD when I was, I think, 16, 17. I got my autism and what I then presumed was my PTSD diagnosis. Because they explained it to me as, or like they labeled it to me as PTSD, but what they actually diagnosed me with was an unspecified panic disorder, which is, it's not the same thing. Because the unspecified panic disorder is another one of those, you know, definitely a panic disorder, but don't know which one it is, right? Or it's none of the above, basically. But I'd always thought that it was PTSD, because that was one, you know, because I really relate to PTSD, all the, like, the diagnostic criteria. I have all the symptoms, you know, all that sort of stuff. I'm like a poster child of PTSD almost. So when a couple years ago, they diagnosed me with that. I say a couple years, it's been quite a few years now. They diagnosed me with that. They also gave me treatment for it. So I was under the impression that it was PTSD. But then when I went to group therapy a little while ago, they actually, the therapist there, like psychologist there, said that they disagreed with that, and that they thought it was unspecified panic disorder and not PTSD. But they couldn't really tell me why. They just said, yeah, you have all the PTSD characteristics, but we don't think it's PTSD for whatever reason. So I wanted some clarification on that, so I did ask, and you know, practically immediately this psychologist that I was with, or psychiatrist, I don't know what the difference is in English, but they basically immediately said, oh yeah, you do have PTSD though, like, you have all the symptoms, you have all the, you know, you have the trauma, you have the stuff, you know, you have PTSD. So that was really validating, you know, because the other ones were a little bit of a shock to me, to be diagnosed with so much, and, you know, stuff that I was, you know, just barely expecting, if at all. And then this one, you know, it was like, I'd known that I have PTSD for like, I think I'd known it since before I got diagnosed with it, because I was, I think like maybe even 15 when I first suspected that I might have PTSD. And whenever I brought that up in conversation with anybody, especially adults, I was always like laughed off, because you haven't fought in a war. Why do you think you have PTSD? The attitude toward that has changed quite a lot in recent years, because now PTSD is diagnosed a lot more around not just people that have gone to war and have experienced that kind of trauma, but also around domestic violence, and car accidents and stuff like that. There's it turns out that PTSD is a lot more prevalent than maybe previously thought, or maybe people previously thought. Maybe psychiatrists knew it all along, whatever. But I was always kind of dismissed and laughed off, especially because I was so young. And then I felt like more of that whenever they kind of quote unquote revoked the diagnoses that I had. So it felt really validating to finally have somebody like listen to me and acknowledge me as well, and like agree with me as well on this, and somebody qualified to diagnose me. So now I get to say the biggest "I told you so" to everybody. It's really not fun. I talked about the flashbacks and everything, I think in maybe the first video that I posted earlier, when I go back into YouTube, like the update video maybe, or like the first journal video. I don't know exactly which one, but I definitely talked about it. So it's really good to finally have that bit explained as well, because the panic disorder thing is just for like panic attacks and stuff, which is part of my like experience, but it doesn't explain all of it, like the flashbacks and the traumatic like the reliving of traumatic stuff, and I don't know, like nightmares and things like that. So it's good. I think it just feels really good to finally have that labeled correctly. I'm very glad about that, even though it's still like a I don't want to have this, I want to have no problems, like no mental problems, no physical problems. I don't want this, but I have it, and there's nothing I can do about it. So it's good to at least have somebody acknowledge it and label it correctly. So that is really good, and I'm glad that I was able to get diagnosed properly, and that everything is labeled now, or like, as far as I know, everything is labeled correctly, or most of things. Maybe there's other stuff, there's always other stuff, but at least for the most part, it seems like it's it feels like a complete picture now. Because even with the OCD and things, like I would have never expected that I had OCD, because I have a lot of friends with OCD, so that was the reason I was able to recognize, hey, are you asking me if I have OCD, or like are you checking, whenever they were interviewing me, because I was recognizing some of the questions as them wondering about, hey, do you have OCD related symptoms, which is just but it makes so much sense, because I also mentioned this in the first journal video about the the intrusive thoughts that I get about whenever my family goes on holiday, for example. I get really scared that I'm never going to see them again. To have that labeled and explained in a way that is understandable, it's a disorder, but it's just your brain trying to get control of stuff. So it's good to have the appropriate labels for it now, but it is kind of confrontational. It's a lot to go from basically like 3 diagnoses to 6. It's quite a bit, because now because the full list now includes autism spectrum disorder, PTSD, finally officially, somatic symptom disorder, OCD, illness anxiety disorder, and the eating disorder, which OFED, I think, yeah. That might turn out to be something else later, because they were suspecting ARFID maybe as well, which is like a restrictive eating disorder. But that might be settled later, but it's at least that one, and it's a working title, I guess. Which I like about this, because it's not like they just leave it at that. It's like, yeah, this is the one that we can say for certain now, but it might turn out to be something else later, and we're going to do what it takes to help you and to figure it out with you, which I think is it's good, and it feels like they really want to help me, which is not a thought that I often get whenever I speak with caregivers, I guess, professionals. They usually they either they shrug it off and they say, yeah, I don't know, good luck, it's probably stress, or they say, maybe ask this other person, get checked out there, whatever. Never, hey, I see you, I feel your pain, I want to help you. I don't get that, because I'm a big question mark, I'm a puzzle. They don't understand me, because there's so much wrong with me. And I'm just too difficult, I guess. But it's fine, at least I'm getting some help now, which is really good. And I'm just, hoping that this therapy is going to help, because the therapy that I'm going to be doing is EMDR therapy and exposure therapy, and as well as some like psychoeducation for autism. So just some more information about autism and how it affects like daily life and stuff, and how getting a little bit more insight in how it might help me function, or whatever, like things that might help me function in during moments that I have trouble functioning because of my autism. I don't know if that makes sense. And the exposure therapy is for the OCD and the health anxiety and such, as well as the PTSD, and the EMDR therapy is mostly for the trauma and the PTSD and stuff. So that's hopefully going to help, and I'm not exactly looking forward to it, but I'm looking forward to getting better. So it's going to be a big thing, but it's hopefully going to be good, and it's hopefully going to have effect. Yeah. I guess I already kind of moved into the additional thoughts section. I'm too tired to keep track of things, so I'm sorry if this video is a bit of a mess. But yeah, I've been having a lot of brain fog as well, which you all have noticed. I'm having a lot of brain fog. It's really hard for me to focus on like anything that isn't hyper-focusing. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's hard to focus on pretty much anything unless it's something I'm really interested in, or something I really want to do. Like maybe if I really want to read, I could just read for hours on end and just remain like a laser focused on that, and not notice that hours are passing, right? Or I'm working on this wolf, and it's like 10 in the morning, I'm starting to work, and I blink and it's 10 o'clock in the evening, and it's, you know, the day's over. But, you know, aside from that, I have the brain fog has been really, really prevalent. And I've always had, you know, always kind of struggled with that a little bit. Since I, you know, got more and more sick, the brain fog has gotten more and more annoying. But this is the first time that I've like actually noticed it like actually impacting my life to an extent. Because the thing it affects most right now is just my short-term memory, and it's annoying because you know, it's not like I'm forgetting anything super important, because I use a lot of alarm clocks, and I use a lot of like notes, so like I write everything down so I don't forget stuff. And that habit has luckily been helping a lot. But you know, maybe I'll like get up and walk downstairs to do maybe two things, and then I you know, by the time I'm downstairs, I've forgotten what those two things are. I do something else and I walk back upstairs, and then a couple hours later I notice, hey, why haven't I done those two things yet? And then I, you know, I realize I forgot, and I have to walk downstairs again and try very hard not to forget, and I still end up forgetting. It gets to the point where I forgot to take my medication because I had an alarm set. I looked at the alarm, it's like it said, okay, take medication. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna take the medication now. So I turned off the alarm, I got up, and I didn't take the medication because I forgot. And because the alarm was turned off instead of snoozed, I didn't get a reminder, so I just completely forgot to take my medication that day. And that's been like, and you know, as a result I immediately get like more stomach pain, so it's really annoying. So I've been trying to really focus on making sure I do stuff before turning off the alarm, and things like that. Just trying to kind of work with it. And the reason that this is probably happening is likely just because I've been going through a lot the past couple months. Because, you know, a lot has been happening the past couple weeks. And just it's just too much, and it impairs functioning, I guess, whenever I get too stressed or too much happens. So it's probably likely just a signal from my body saying like, hey, too much, you need a rest. So yeah, it's not fun, but it's, you know, it's not something that kind of like, you know, of course it worries me a little bit because of the health anxiety, so there's always the thought in the back of my mind that I'm dying and I just don't know. But I logically I know it's probably nothing. Yeah, so I did hyperfocus a lot this week, and I have kind of noticed that that does kind of tend to happen whenever whenever something happens, or whenever, you know, I have like a big revelation, like, you know, 3 new diagnoses. I just kind of, you know, tend to slip into that hyperfocus and just, you know, laser focus on something and just do that for a while, and in the back of my mind stuff is processing. So it's just something I've noticed, I guess, something I wanted to call out. I don't really have anything else to say on that. But yeah, I will leave as well like just some links to the wolf plush pattern that I'm using, and the person who made it, Yellow Freak. And I just again want to implore you to please go check their work out, because they're so cool, and you know, so nice as well. They're like just really nice, and they even allow people to make commissions with the pattern. So that's something that I might consider once I have made my own faux fur wolf. I might open up commissions for them. They're going to be really expensive because they take a lot of time and work and very expensive materials, but they're really cool, very pretty, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to that. That might you know, I've also considered or been considering making like smaller plushes, because this one is really, really big. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm very close to being finished at the time of recording this. At least like the test wolf, the faux fur one. I don't know when I'll be able to work on it and finish it, but we'll see. But you know, I might just, you know, make smaller plushes as well, and how to make custom plushes, because they're really cool, really fun, and like really they're just nice projects to work on and to make, and they're a little bit hard on my hands, but not too hard, right? Like, because when you're painting, it doesn't take quite as much I guess arm strength. With sewing, there's a little bit more arm strength and hand strength involved, but it's not too much yet, so that's really good, and I'm glad about that. Yeah, then I guess for the time walked, I only walked 22 minutes that week, because I went for 2 walks, but I am at like 11 minutes per walk now, so that's really good, and I haven't been noticing that it wears me out too much, so that's really good and super encouraging, and I'm very excited about that. I think I'm going to film a plant update as well, because a lot's happened with my plants, and it's going to be fun to show. So I'll just like insert that here. Okay, here's your plant update. I've repotted quite a few of the plants, so they're not all here. But the banana plants have new pots. They're really, really big and sturdy, and I like them a lot. Very pretty. And they are, of course, still making new leaves, which is really good. Look at that. Then I repotted the deerfoot fern a little while ago. So I probably already showed that. But there it is. And here's the Sansevieria, the snake plant, is doing well. This little guy, this I think it's a I forget the name of it, but it's a fern. It has also been getting a lot of new growth, so it's been doing really well, and it looks really, really good. Look at that, it's getting some new leaves and stuff. And it's feeling really happy, just awesome. Sort of an ugly leaf, but for the rest of it, it's looking really cool. The Monstera is getting a new leaf right here, and it got a new leaf in like the meantime of, you know, the time between videos, which is, I think it's this one. It is really big and really pretty. Very, very happy about that. Very stoked. Then the Calathea is doing really well as well. It also had a new leaf somewhere, but I don't know where. It needs water, so that's why it's curled up a little bit. Yes, over here. There's a new leaf right there. Look at that. It's still putting out new growth, so that's really, really good. And it's looking very healthy, which I'm happy with, because it's a difficult plant, but it's doing well. This one is looking really, really good. I like turned it a little bit so it's not like hanging in front of my computer anymore. And it will hopefully like grow this way to the light. It has a little bit of new growth here. But for the rest, you know, all the leaves are unfurled. I don't know how much, if any more new growth I'm going to have this week, or the rest of this growing season. But we'll see, we'll see. Yeah, little man's, nothing's really changed about this guy. He's just, you know, been sitting here. He hasn't really been putting out any new leaves since like this really big one. But you know, doing well, not dying, so that's good. These grow super slowly, so you know. But it's a really cute little plant, and I like it a lot. So yeah, I hope this one continues to do well. Sorry, I got cut off by my alarm that I should be eating something, so I'm going to do that later. The peace lily is doing really well because I cut off the flowers, and I was, you know, kind of afraid that, you know, something might happen to it, like it might die because I did that, but it didn't, and it's just been steadily putting out new leaves, so I'm really happy about that. What else? Yeah, The aglaonema also got a new leaf. If you can see, that one is a little bit brighter than the others, right there. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a new leaf and it's coming along, and I really love this plant. I get so out of breath when I'm standing and talking. This one is doing well. It should be putting out a new leaf soon, but I haven't been seeing anything. It should be on this stem right there, so it might be something, but I don't know. And the little stowaway is also doing well still. Look at that. There it is, cute. But yeah, that's the plants for today. Yeah, back to the video. Then for the song of the week, I think I'm just gonna cite like "Your City Gave Me Asthma" and "Maybe I Was Boring," because I've been in the mood for a lot of Wilbur music, like all the Wilbur music. So, you know, of course, "Your City Gave Me Asthma" is like ultimate comfort album. I've never had a comfort album before, but "Your City Gave Me Asthma" is definitely a comfort album for me. And then "Maybe I Was Boring" is I just really like the vibe, I guess. And you know, I've always been like well, not always, but I've been a really big fan of Wilbur's music for quite a few years now, and I just, you know, it's so soothing and comforting. There's something about it that just makes me feel better, I guess. Then for the comment of the week, I want to cite Jaylee and JMPT on the big update video, I guess, that I posted when it was like 2 weeks ago, I think. So just thank you all so much for your concern and your kindness, and I do hope to be making more videos, uploading more. But I'll try to take it easy and not expect too much of myself. Yeah, then for the YouTube videos that stuck with me this week, I think it's fairly obvious which ones that was gonna be, but it's Jacksepticeye's Life is Strange playthroughs, and especially the first one. You know, if you're gonna check any of them out, check out the first one. It's really, really good. And I'm not doing a reflection exercise today because I'm exhausted. So I think I'm gonna leave it at this for today. Film the plant update and see you next week, I think. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, for listening to me talk about this. I am very excited about this wolf. I hope to finish it soon and show you all, and hope to work on this faux fur wolf that's going to look even more realistic and very, very cool. I'm super excited about it, and I just really hope that project's going to be cool, and that, you know, I'm going to make some more awesome stuff. And I hope to draw again soon, because I haven't been able to draw like at all, because it's just been so out of it. I want to draw. So soon, hopefully, and yeah, see you guys next week. I again forgot my outro, but I just, thanks for watching, and subscribe, I guess. Yeah, subscribe, that's a good one. Bye. Keep on sketching.